Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we're gonna do this stitch, a very easy stitch, 2 rows repeat. This is the front of the work and this is the back. I think both sides look nice. These are the sides of the work. This sample I did with 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, so the yarn is somewhat thin. It's really fun, this stitch. And I made a sample, just with the yarn a little bit thicker. And for this one I use 4.0 millimeter crochet hook for a blanket, for a vest, for a cardigan, even for infinity scarf. If you want, you can do this. It's really nice. Okay, let's do this stitch. This stitch works with multiples of 3, and so I have here multiples of 3. What we're gonna do, we're gonna skip the first 2 chains, and into the third chain we're gonna do a double crochet. And I'm working now with 3.0 millimeter crochet hook, so we're gonna do 2 more double crochets into that chain, where we did that double crochet. So the second and the third. Okay, now this is how we're gonna do this row. It's like the granny stitch. We're gonna skip the next 2 chains, and into the third we're gonna do in there 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and the third one. And again we're gonna skip the next 2 chains, and into the third 3 double crochets. I think if you want some of you to make a baby blanket, I think this is nice. Skip the next 2 chains, and in the third we're doing the same. This is how this row is gonna be worked. Skip 2 chains, and into the third we're gonna put in there 3 double crochets. Okay. I'm gonna skip the next 2, and into the third we're doing the same. So we're gonna skip the next 2 chains, and into the third we're gonna do only 1 double crochet. Okay. It's gonna look like this. Now we're gonna skip, and this the next row that is gonna be one of the 2 rows that we're gonna repeat. So we're gonna chain 3. You're always gonna chain 3 at the end. Turn your work, and now we have 3 double crochets here. The first double crochet we're gonna do a front post double crochet. Into the second double crochet we're gonna do in there like a puff. So depends on your yarn how thick or thin it is. You're gonna choose how big or puffy you want the puff. So once, twice, 3, and the 4th time. Pull the yarn through all those loops, not the last one, then yarn over and pull the yarn to the last 2. And now we have the last double crochet from this cluster, those 3, and we're gonna do a front post double crochet. So we're gonna start with the front post double crochet, and we're gonna finish with the front post double crochet. So we're gonna do the same to the next cluster of 3. So we're gonna start with the front post double crochet, and into the second double crochet we're gonna do a puff behind that. So we're gonna go behind that double crochet 4 times. Once. You're gonna go as many times as you like, or more or less, depends how big you want the puff to be. If you want to be a little bit smaller, then go 3 times. So then the next we're gonna do a front post double crochet. So we're gonna move to the next, and we're gonna do the same. We start with the front post double crochet to the first double crochet. The second double crochet from the cluster, we're gonna do a puff in there. Do once, twice, 3, and the fourth time. Pull the yarn through all those loops, pull the yarn to the last 2, and we're gonna finish with the front post double crochet into that last double crochet of that cluster. So we're gonna move to the next, and we're gonna do the same. Front post double crochet first, then we're gonna move to the second double crochet and do a puff. So once, twice, 3, and the fourth time. And we're gonna finish with the front post into that last double crochet. So now we have the 3 double crochet and the chain at the end, so we're gonna do the same. The first double crochet, we're gonna do a front post double crochet, then into the second double crochet we're gonna do the puff. So once, twice, third, and the fourth time. I'm gonna pull the yarn through all those loops, last 2, and we have the last double crochet of that cluster, in which we're gonna do a front post double crochet, and at the end we have the chain 3, yeah, the chain 3. So we're gonna go on top of the third chain, and we're gonna do a double crochet. This is how we're gonna finish this, the rows anyway. It's gonna look like this. Then we're gonna chain 3. So this is one of the rows that you're gonna repeat with this front post and puffs, and then now this row. This is the back of the work. So now we're gonna do into the stitch, the one in the middle, the stitch where the puff is. So you're gonna skip the first stitch and into the second, which is the puff from the previous row. In this we're gonna do in there 3 double crochets in that stitch. So once, we're gonna go back again for the second and the third. So again we're gonna move to the next. So this is the front post from the previous row, and the next one is the puff. So we're gonna do in there 3 double crochets in that middle stitch, or the second one. We move to the next, skip the next stitch, and the second one, which is the puff. In that stitch we're gonna put 3 double crochets. We move to the next, and I'm gonna do the same. So now we have the last cluster. So we have the front post double crochet, the puff, and the front post and the chain. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and we're gonna go straight to the puff stitch, the one in the middle, and we're gonna do 3 double crochets in there. Okay, and we're gonna go to the chain, the top chain, the third one here, and we're gonna do a double crochet. I'm gonna chain 3, turn your work. It's gonna look like this. And now we're gonna repeat the row with the front post and the puff, and then front post. So we have the first cluster here, the first double crochet. We're gonna do a front post double crochet. The second, we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, the third and the fourth time. Pull the yarn through all the loops, pull the yarn to the last 2, and the last double crochet of the cluster we're going to do a front post double crochet. we're gonna move to the next cluster and we're gonna do the same. In the last double crochet, I'm gonna do a front post, and so on. It's a very easy stitch. Well, now depends how big you like the puff. You might go only maybe 3 times, or maybe only 2 times. Depends how thick it's the yarn, the size of the yarn that you work with. So to the second one there, I'm gonna do a puff. And the last front post in there. And now at the end we have the last cluster, so we're gonna do the same. I'm gonna go to the first one, I'm gonna do a front post double crochet, and into the second I'm gonna do the puff. Okay, pull the yarn through all the loops, last 2, and the last double crochet from that cluster, front post, and we have the chain 3 in which we're gonna go right straight to the top, and we're gonna do a double crochet. We're gonna chain 3, and I'm gonna repeat the row with the 3 double crochets on top of the puff stitch. So it's right here. You skip this one, 3 double crochet. You move to the next, the one in the middle, and you do 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 3. You have here at the end here, and the double crochet on top of the chain, and you're gonna chain 3, and you're gonna repeat the row with the puff. Okay. It's a little bit bumpy. If you like this kind of design look, you can do that. And it's really nice, and even the back looks nice, but I think it looks nicer with thinner yarn for a wrap, for even a blouse, if you do with a very thin yarn, or even a baby blanket for summer. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.